Tim Sini, former Suffolk County District Attorney and former Suffolk County Police Commissioner. He worked on this case for a long time, first as Police Commissioner, then as the DA. He oversaw the investigation until he stepped down in 2021. Tim, thanks so much for coming on. I am a native Long Islander. I've been following this case back when it started, when I was studying criminal law at law school. I feel like this has to be a monumental day for you. What are your thoughts?
This is a big day. This is a big day for Suffolk County. It's a big day for the region. Most of all, it's a big day for the loved ones of the victims. This is one step closer to justice. It's also an important day for the community. So many questions have been unanswered, and it's important that those questions begin to be answered. And that's important not just for the loved ones and those directly impacted, but also for folks who have been wondering all this time what happened here. And today we're one step closer.
But before you left office, though, the belt buckle came to light, right? I mean, you were looking at this case. Before you left, did you have a feeling that it was going to be solved relatively soon?
100%. You know, this is a case that from day one we've been saying is solvable. I came into the department in late 2015. Unfortunately, at that point in time, the investigation was in disarray. We had a police commissioner and a DA who were fighting publicly about how many killers were involved. We had a police commissioner and a chief of department and a district attorney who were actively obstructing the FBI from assisting the investigation. There was clearly evidence that was not obtained or properly analyzed. And so we got this investigation back on track, and we've always been confident that it was solvable. And we had a true focus on the cell phone evidence that you saw detailed in the bail application.
You knew about that before this came
in
out.
Open court regarding the cell site. And it's a real pleasure to see that they were able to bring this across the finish line.
When you look at him, and his picture has been posted, I said, seemingly ordinary guy, doesn't strike any red flags. Is this the profile of the guy that you were thinking of?
Just, you know, it's often, you know, with serial killer cases, it's those who are living amongst us. It's not a vagrant. And, you know, this is particularly chilling, of course. But the fact that he was living in a suburban community and that he had some aspects of a normal life, like a job and a family, is not all that surprising to those who have been involved in the investigation.
Now, let's be clear. He's been charged with respect to 3 of the killings.
That's right.
They think he's a primary suspect in a 4th. You and I both know that prosecutors aren't going to charge him with a 4th because they don't want to have a weak case that might jeopardize the other 3. If they're confident they can charge him with more, they will, but not right now. Do you think that it's possible he's responsible for the other bodies that were found in Gilgo Beach?
Well, I think the decision to charge him, from what I can tell during the press conference and from the bail application, is, look, there's a public safety issue here, right? You have a serial killer in the community who, according to prosecutors, were continuing to patronize prostitutes. And so I think the decision to arrest him prior to being able to charge that the 4th murder was a smart one.
Yeah.
With respect to the other 7 bodies that were found, I don't want to speculate as to where those investigations are. They remain open, and I'm confident that law enforcement will continue to push those investigations forward.
I want to ask you real quick about the strength of the evidence, in your opinion, right?
Absolutely.
So you talk about the cell phone evidence, the DNA. I'm an attorney. I can understand where the defense might jump in and say, well, was it properly collected? How accurate is it? You don't have surveillance footage. You know, the cell phone evidence is off of burner phones. Maybe it's not his phone. Do you feel the strength in this case, or you in the prosecution's case as of right now, or do you think that they need more to build it up?
Well, look, I think you'll see more come out. They're not going to detail all their evidence in a bail application. Also, they can generate additional evidence in a variety of ways. Evidence that they may not have now may come to light before they have to try this case. But just based on what I've read in the bail application, I would characterize this case as strong. You know, one of the first questions that popped in my head was, did he make a statement? Mm-hmm. And according to his defense attorney, you know, the one statement that is at least public is that, you know, he didn't do it.
He apparently said it crying, yeah.
Right. Now, you know, often it's not unheard of that a serial killer would want to take responsibility and almost pride and ownership in his crime. So it would be interesting to see if that changes. And that's interesting for a variety of reasons. Are we going to see a trial in this case? Or are we going to see someone who starts talking and perhaps gives us more information about his crimes?
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.